What's going on, everybody? It is Luke here again, bringing you another Mr. FBA UK video. Now, I know I have not been doing many videos last week or two. I have been away. So I was like mid-flow there. I've been away. I went away. I was just a long weekend from Thursday to Tuesday this week, pretty much, with a friend. A couple of beers, Bratislava. Nothing special. Just a nice little getaway. Haven't been away for about a year now, or something like that. I went to Paris last year for a couple of days with a girlfriend, but yeah, I haven't actually been don't really go away basically because I just feel like I don't know, I just feel like I'm just sort of twiddling my thumbs waiting to get back to do stuff. I just feel like it's like a pause for no reason, you know. You don't really work a 9 to 5 to then have a holiday to go away. Like, that's how I feel. Anyway, to business, as they say. So, today we're going to be talking about international sales, Europe sales, worldwide export, whatever. Everything to do with Europe, selling. How do you make money in Europe? Do you even sell in Europe? What's going on? All this. I mean, even though people seem to be clearing up all these questions, there's always new questions or recurring questions about Europe, selling in Europe. Everyone understands the UK. Very simple. You make an account, you send your items in, you know what's going on, you know your profits, boom, and you are done. So, I'm going to go over what I have, a couple of points I've noticed recently. This is very recent questions as well, on things that I'm just going to basically just try to cover again, because what I find is that I cover something 6 months later, 3 months later, the video is forgotten, the conversation that maybe is in a group is forgotten. It's sort of, it's now old hat or whatever, and then it needs to be brought up again and again and again and again, and that's just basically how it works. So this is basically what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about all of international. So I have seen a couple of people in the posts and stuff saying, I'm not making any money in Europe. What's happening? How do I even list prices in Europe? Will I have to go and do it all manually, like the pricing? So the way that I used to do repricing in Europe through BQ. It's like $10 a month per extra marketplace. And I did recently take that away, well, after Christmas, took it off, just to focus on the UK and to build up the year afresh. Now, I will probably go back, and it is probably better because, where if you do it through Amazon here and stuff, you normally set like a fixed percentage or a fixed pound value on top. So you got to think, it's not going to be it's not going to be as precise as you want, because if it's a percentage, if it's only selling for £5, that percentage really isn't going to bump it up much, even if you 30-50%. But if the product's worth £50 or £100 and you put 50%, it massively changes. So that is the issue there. Or you can do a fixed price. I'm currently just on a fixed price. It seems to be working fine. Sales actually seem to be okay. They don't seem to be worse. So they are better, but I don't know if that's just the products or what exactly. And I will monitor. I probably will go back to repricing, because with the reprice, you can get down to you can basically just drill through each individual product. So, my lower price products, I will increase the price more than the products that are above, say, 10, 20 quid, because I don't have to increase the price so much. And a great thing about, for me, everyone's talking about Brexit. What's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? For me, it's actually, well, one, I don't really care, because in life and then everything, things change and you just got to adapt. So it's irrelevant what happens. So for me, I literally just don't care. Like, all I want to know is roughly when it's happening, so I can at least be like not completely retarded about it or naive. And to be like, oh, I'll be left like tomorrow, day after. But I don't, whatever the outcome, whatever happens, it's sort of irrelevant, because everyone does, it happens to everybody. So no one's better off or worse off. And it's the same. So nothing changes, you get what I'm trying to say. Everybody has the same effect, because it doesn't, no one's excluded from it. So it's sort of pointless even looking at it, because everyone gets affected the same, therefore everything runs the same, for me to the next guy. So it's just wasting time sort of faffing around with it. But to me, actually, it's a great thing. The pound getting weak is just amazing, if we obviously go on holiday, maybe not, but, for Europe, the closer you can get your pound to a euro, the lower the price of the product's going to be in the partying country, meaning like that country. So instead of my product being 50 quid here and the pound's strong, So basically, so in Europe, it's going to have to be, say, 80 euros. Well, actually now 50 euros is closer to £50, so the price can come down in Europe, and I can sell it for a lower price, because I'm getting basically, instead of my £1 now being €2, for example, meaning I have to sell my products in Europe at double to get £1. Which means in Europe the price is actually really is far higher than it sort of should be, or maybe the price of the products now, instead of it being £1, the equivalent of 1.50 or £1, it's now £2. If they were like looking at it in the euro perspective, the closer the weaker that pound gets, the closer to the euro it gets, meaning 1-to-1. That means now my £1 sells in Europe as as €1. So the price for everyone in Europe buying it is cheaper, and I'm still getting my pound. For me, it doesn't change. It still converts back to that £1. So it's better to have it that way round, because the new exposure to the whole market is huge. So your potential sales can be 5x the weaker the pound is, or the closer to 1-to-1, for example. Yes, there are higher fees. Yes, this, that, and the other. But if the pound was getting if you had £1 was €5, then I know it's not quite the same, because obviously the conversion, you can put it lower because the conversion is better, but you get what I'm trying to say in that sense. Like, the closer to 1-to-1, the more easier it is for us to understand what the price is going to be in those countries. But it just seems to be far easier for me as a person to know that the price is actually going to come down for everybody for the day-to-day items. That maybe that's what they're used to, of course, because you do find that products sell higher in Europe, but from a sort of very simple mindset, surely the price being lower in euros is better for everyone buying it in Europe, because they are going to look at that as a more favourable price. Anyway, moving on. So people, if you want to know roughly how to set up your price in Europe, come through, well, you've got this program thing that's bumped in here. You can click that, or you can go to inventory, sell globally. It's exactly the same thing. It will actually come up to this page here, but there's no point me going on to that right now. And then you basically click build international listings. You've got all the different markets down here, so you will actually click into each, and it shows you basically the active and the non-active, and a lot of these are do with not all products are in all marketplaces basically, and it should automatically transfer across. I don't actually faff around trying to find out if I can add any more. I don't exactly know how all the specifics work, but yeah. And then you come down here, and it will basically come here. So this is the connection. So what you can do is, I basically at the moment set it to £6 plus. So you jump through here, you can basically see what it's doing in all the countries. It gives you little bits and bobs. Basically, you're looking here, fixed amount above source marketplace. So you can do percentages, but again, I already just mentioned about the percentages. If it's under £10, percentage of 50% isn't going to massively increase the price. So you may find that you actually lose money on products or break even, because the fees still have to be applied. So yeah, at the moment I just did £6 because I had no idea, and I thought, okay, 6, banging a number, pew, done. I had 5, I thought, I put 6, and actually they're all right. I'm probably not capturing as much as I could, but for the sake of a very simple thing, it seems to be going all right. Okay. So what have I done here? Okay, so if you want to actually if you want to make sure that you set up all of your European stuff right, you would come in, you basically go to settings, which is on the top right hand side, like that. You can see, go down to the fulfillment by Amazon. You can sort of see the very bottom line one, and then it comes up with this. So you want to make sure, obviously, all of your pan-European is disabled. Yeah, and everyone knows that, but I'm just going to say it again. All of this is disabled at the top. Now, if you go right down to the bottom, very, very bottom, you can see the bottom bit here is the shipping programs and export settings. And yes, I will talk about the worldwide export thing that was applied to everybody automatically. And again, this is not financial advice, because everyone seems to think that everything is financial advice, even if I'm just discussing a topic that's to do with it, which is a bit bizarre. It's like it's like in life, eventually you get to the point, like with health and safety, if you mention anything about like, oh, I've done that, you can't mention it now, because like someone might think that they're going to do it, and then they're going to sue you. Oh crap, Jesus Christ, this world's getting just ridiculous. So I've just said it because I've heard people complain about me, but Well, not complain as such, but mention it. And make sure this is all enabled. Now, if you basically click through to the edit, it does, well, it actually takes you through to this thing here. So you can do domestic. Now, there used to be another option here, and I believe the option was the European Union. Domestic will obviously just be domestic within the UK. Yeah, very simple. And then now it's on worldwide. So you might think, oh, what was it? What's this about? What's this about? It was all automatic enrollment. Well, to be fair, as I've already mentioned, that I don't believe that Amazon would, by them automatically enrolling you, makes it very, very, to me, obvious that there's no relation to any extra changes for for us, whatever, seller, because they wouldn't automatically enroll like 10 million people or have like 1 million people into something which they then did not know that they needed to then do something for tax reasons, because imagine the comeback on Amazon knowing that they've basically just gone behind the scenes, done something without us really even knowing what it is. No one has a clue, and now they've fucked it up for everyone, basically. So, because I've seen it before, in many of the programs, you've got to basically opt in by a certain date. So the fact that they said opt out gives it quite a massive indication that that is the principle behind it. So you can see now it says worldwide, and it basically just does, well, if you click through that little link, it gives you the worldwide. 80 countries, including European Union and all that jazz. So you'll find out, if you actually looked at your orders, like I had a person from Denmark buy some Horlicks, literally Horlicks. She said, "Oh, too sweet," and I was like, "Why are you buying it from here?" Probably because you can't get it in Denmark. And she's buying it because, and the UK is probably more reliable for her in Denmark, or faster maybe than, say, Germany or France. Germany's probably the largest European seller than England, I think, or UK. Even though it's quite unusual to think that, but it is. UK is actually second. But basically, all you're doing now is, instead of selling to these countries, which you'll find that a lot of these countries you'll be selling to anyway, you just don't realise. It just looks like you're selling in the UK. You're now selling to 80. So if you actually look to the addresses, half of them, it could be from anywhere. I don't know. Let's just Turkey. I don't know. Let's make a guess. Morocco. I don't know how far they actually go. It doesn't actually give you a massive list. But yeah, it gives you all the details, and that is basically it, because it's automatically done. Now you're going to get a little bit more exposure. I don't know if it's going to be massively increasing sales, because you're already getting all of the European Union. Now you're going to be getting slightly further afield, meaning I don't, surely they're going to choose. So, for example, all the people in South America would choose Mexico or the US. All the people like in Asia would choose Japan, or Australia's now got FBA. I'd say obviously no Africa and no sort of Eastern to Western Asia. But, even Eastern Europe will be covered in here. So you've got Estonia. You haven't got Belarus on here, which is interesting. That's weird. Okay. So actually, do you have Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein? Probably not. Liechtenstein's like about the size of my thumb. Okay, yeah, just curious. But you haven't got Turkey and that sort of thing in here. Greece. Yes, you got Greece. Okay. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. And I've also seen people say, there's a guy that I know is in the group. He used to do merchant fulfilled, and then he switched to FBA. And obviously the fees and everything are slightly different. European fees are obviously different. So the shipping costs that Amazon add on, all the costs for Europe are obviously different. So, he posted saying the fees are different in Europe, the FBA fees. Now, if you're a merchant, of course, you're going to be doing all that to yourself. All the shipping side is taken care of yourself. You pay up front. So it is what it is. They take the referral fee, and that's pretty much it. I don't even know if it would be different. But because obviously then FBA is shipping it across to Europe, the changes happen, yeah? And he was oblivious. So I'm going to basically go over, because I don't believe that the analysis he's been doing on the products. I've just typed in Johnson's, because that was a product he was talking about at one point, and I just sort of see if I can see it. But it's really important to do your due diligence on the product itself before you buy it. So don't buy a product and be like, yeah, this is cool, let's buy it, sell it. Like, you don't buy a product before you actually even know if it can sell. Just because I look at something and think it's nice, it's irrelevant. It literally, so everything you buy as an online arbitrage, or you don't buy because of any reason. I basically, you have to act as robotic as you can. There's no emotion. There's no, oh, I like that, because it doesn't really apply. You have to basically check the item, go on here, check Buybot Pro, check FBA multi-tool, check Keeper. So obviously, let's say I'm in a store doing retail or whatever. You go on to this product. You're checking all of the hazmat eligibility. You're checking Keeper. You're looking at the number of sellers. Because I found that this is very important. And of course, you need definitely, if you're aiming to sell a product in Europe exclusively or as a sort of equal to say UK, you definitely need to be jumping on here and checking the EFN fees, European Fulfillment Network, if you didn't understand what that meant. So of course, if you're buying it for £3 and it's selling for 12 in the UK, you're making this much money, awesome. But you might be like, oh, cool, let's sell it in Europe. Well, let's bump it up £6, £4, leave it the same, for example. Let's just add it, because you don't think there's any extra fees, you leave it all the same. Well, of course, now let's see what the fees are in any other countries. Boom. Now you're losing money. Literally as easy as that, And it seems that, it might not be for everyone, but that you have to be fully aware. But of course, you don't go and buy a product until you've done all this analysis on this page. So before you buy a product, you would come on here, you would check, sales estimates. You would have a quick look. Yep. Hazmat eligibility. Yep, cool. You would then quickly see what the UK profit is. Okay, sweet, 117. Check the Keeper. Check the year. All. Analyze this quick time. Yep, pretty stable buy box. A couple of weird bits here. Looking pretty smooth on the old rankings. Looking, there's lots of merchant fulfilled, so that's awesome. Pretty much these are merchant fulfilled too. Probably I can't even see the name of this person is there. Okay, I'm going to be the exclusive seller. Let's buy some. Grab it. Awesome. Oh, let's sell it in Europe. Oh, okay. Well, that screwed me up. I've lost loads of money. But you would find out within 2 seconds, and obviously you would make a decision: are you going to sell it in Europe, or also now you know. Does it see? Yeah, it doesn't actually give you it. Does it? Yeah. So the EFN fee, £6.91 here for basically the fees, £2.17. Turn it on. So the referral fees the same. The EFN fees, boom, and that'll be literally, as you can see here, FBA fees, means fulfilled by Amazon. That'll be the fees that they will attribute to the cost of shipping your product as a prime product to the customer. And you would already know. So you would now know that, okay, well, that's about that. You can do some sample testing, pick up 10 random products, different prices, and roughly see the EFN fees attributing to, say, the products, the weight, the size, and all that sort of thing. You don't have to. Or you can just jump straight over to the bit I was on about here and fix the amount. Because a lot of people I know will literally just basically put it as 0. Or basically nothing. Because they see the exchange rate is pretty crap. And be like, okay, well, that's percentage it up. The equivalent percentage, that could be a very simple thing. Oops. I'm going to just increase it by the percentage so that it is equal. But it doesn't actually work like that. You have to account for many different variables and things. And that's just a very simple thing you've got to pay attention to when selling globally. I know, and that's going to be the video because, I don't want to waste anyone's time. Nice and short, nice and easy. Just touching over like a handful of European pricing, concerns and all that sort of thing. Again, not financial advice, so don't go and copy me if you lose money, it's my fault, because, at the end of the day, this is just I've just banged in the £6 here just to test. Every month I'm going over the products, or whenever, seeing if I've actually, seeing if it's worth changing this maybe. And at some point I will get a repricer for the other countries, because then you can drill down to a little bit more specific, because people are like, oh yeah, I take more profit in Europe, but do you need more profit? Imagine, if there's X amount of sales in the UK, let's say there's 5 million. But you can get another 5 million from 5 other countries. Why wouldn't you just match what you've got in the UK and buy 5 times as much? So instead of buying 5 items, because there's 5 million people, so, and you make 30% return. Or why are you bumping up your European prices? Oh look, I can make loads in Europe. Well, yeah, but you might make one sale. Or you can put it at 30%, increase the ranking and the purchase rate, because the competitiveness of the price is improved. Therefore, there should be an increase in sales. Therefore, it should potentially match as long as the demand is relatively similar across countries, because obviously demographics does affect purchasing. They call it purchasing decisions or buying decisions, whatever. Because you do find some products are great in some countries and some not. You opposite find that some are equally is great. But then you could potentially 5x your demographic just by matching the price so that it's the equivalent price in the UK and in Europe. And therefore, instead of buying 5 just to sell, let's say you buy 8, 1 to sell in every European country and 5 for the UK. Well, now you can go and buy 25 because you've critiqued and finessed the price in that specific country, because you have a repricer and you can drill through to get the desired return. So you can actually go, it gives you the fees and everything, and you can go down, say, to 32%, 33%, give it a little bit of room, I'd say. Never go down to, say, 29, but that's basically 30, because it's probably going to be a little less. Maybe it'd be 27, 26. So you want to be careful. I normally put mine to about 32% return to 34, depending on the price, which then gives you a rough, return of, say, 30. But it's not just across my one country, it's against 3, 4, 5, however many countries. And I just buy more of that product. So I then basically do the same, I try to bridge the gap between Europe and the UK in terms of sales. Definitely with Germany, where the VAT threshold's high. I know there's weird things going on with everything left, right, and certain things are changing. But as of now, nothing has changed as yet. Until that day that I cannot do that, I am going to play it as is. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Got some I don't know, tidbits of information, I guess. Probably a lot of you already knew a lot of this, but it does seem to be a repeating topic of conversation. And I just wanted to clear some up, and I'm sure it will be touched on again at some point when things change, as all things seem to do in this space. The ever fast growing digital age. There we go. Anyway, have a great day and have a great weekend if I do not speak to you before. So yeah, smash the thumbs up, click the little bell notification if you want to be notified of any future videos as and when they are released. Comment if you have any questions. I know I talk fast, I do apologise, and I'll see you on the next video.